Hello and welcome to Number by Color. My name is Todd, and yesterday, the Game Awards nominees were revealed for the world. And normally I'm not really into award shows and all this kind of stuff, but I thought it might be fun to just go through the list and cast my vote with you on camera. I will say though, most years because of the way I play games throughout the course of a year, I either don't know the games that are on the list, or I know of them, but I haven't played most of the nominees for any particular thing. So we're going to see how this goes. I saw the list when it was revealed yesterday, but I don't remember everything that was on it. But we're just going to go through all the categories. I'm going to cast my vote, and then we can maybe have a conversation about what you guys think. Again, here is Mac. He's going to be joining me, and so is Calliope. So let's go. Okay, so first up is Content Creator of the Year. Now, again, like I said, first off, right off the bat, I don't know any of these people except for Alana Pierce. So I'm just going to go through this really quick. Vote for her. There we go. Okay, I earned a badge. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Best Multiplayer of the Year. Animal Crossing, Among Us, Fall Guys, Call of Duty, Valorant. I have not played any of these games. The closest one I've played is Animal Crossing. I have sat close to somebody who played it. All right, Best Sports and Racing. I'm not even going to vote here because I do not play those kinds of games. Well, my mouse is scrolling so fast on this site. Okay, next category. Best Sim/Strategy. I'm going to have to skip this one too because I have not played any of those. Wow, we're doing really great so far, huh? Best Family. Wait a second. Is this Best Family Game or the best family in a game? Because if so, I don't know if any of these are the best family. There's a lot of families. I don't know if any of them are best. Wow, I haven't played any of these. So in this case, I just have to default to whatever my gut reaction is. And I'm going to go with Crash Bandicoot 4. Just because Animal Crossing cannot get everything. And I know it's going to get a lot. Best Fighting Game. I'm going to skip this because I do not play fighting games. Best Role Playing. Okay. Now this one is something that I do need to take my time with. Oh, these are the options? Yakuza Like a Dragon, Wasteland 3, Persona 5 Royal, Genshin Impact, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, I have played Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously, Genshin Impact, and Persona 5. I didn't play Royal, so I know the baseline of what Persona 5 Royal is, and I know a lot of people like what has been added to it. But I'm going to go with Final Fantasy VII because it's the one I think should win this. Definitely over Genshin Impact, even though it's a fun game. And I haven't played Persona 5 Royal, so we're defaulting to what I have played. Final Fantasy, my favorite RPG series, so we're going there. Best Action Adventure. So this one I do know several. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, haven't played that. Ghost of Tsushima, have played that. In my last video, I talked about it. It's awesome. Spiders Marvel Morales. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. I am currently playing that, so I don't have a full opinion about it. It is very good, though. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I did play that. I reviewed that on this channel. I liked that game. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Man, I wish I could forget that game. I don't like that game. It's not that good. Last of Us Part 2. As an action adventure. I guess it is an action adventure. I'm going to go with Ghost of Tsushima over Last of Us Part 2. Really, those are the big two in my mind. Ori, unfortunately, is not... I mean, I guess it is an action-adventure, but I wouldn't really consider it to be that. Okay, Best Action. Okay, this is just action. There's no adventure in these games. It's just action. Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, Streets of Rage 4. That's like These are all very different games. How is Half-Life Alyx under action? That doesn't make any sense to me. Again, I haven't played any of these, so I'm going to default to what I hear the most people talking about, and that is Hades. Very deserving. So we move on. Let's move on. Okay, so innovation in accessibility. Yeah, so I have not played any of these except for The Last of Us Part 2, and that had like a massive amount of accessibility options, so I'm definitely going there. Oh, best VR/AR. Okay, Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons. Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. I haven't played any of these. This is like every single year of the Game Awards where it's just like, I don't know what any of these games are. I know what these games are, but I have not played them. Just based on what I want to be the winner, regardless of whether it is or not, I know these rules that I'm making up for the default keep changing, but I'm going to just go with Iron Man VR because it looks cool and I really want to play that game. Best community sport. I don't know. I'm going to skip this because I am definitely not someone who is in that world at all. Best mobile game. Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, Pokemon Cafe Mix. I feel like I played this for a minute and it was so dumb. Pokemon Cafe Mix. Do not play this game. It's bad. But other than that, I haven't played any of these except for Genshin Impact, but I played that on the PS4. I'm just going to go with that because it is a really fun game. I don't know how it plays on mobile, but it is a fun game nonetheless. Best indie. All right, carry on. Fallout Guys. Fall Guys. Hades, Spelunky 2, ew. Spiritfarer, ooh, interesting. I'm going to say this is a toss-up between Hades and Spiritfarer. I personally am more interested to play Spiritfarer. I have not played either this or Hades, but Spiritfarer, there's something about it that seems really just, I don't know. There's something about it. I'm going to go with Hades. No, you know what? I'm going with my gut. Spiritfarer. Fine. Oh, I'm a graduate now. Okay, next. Best ongoing. Man, some of these are really ongoing, but they are not necessarily going on. You know what I mean? I'm not going to vote for any of these because I do not care at all. Games for impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Pro-social. I don't know what that means, but I have not played any of these. I would say Spiritfarer because it looks like it could be very heartwarming and heart-wrenching at the same time. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice-over acting, motion, and or performance capture. Ashley Johnson as Ellie, Laura Bailey as Abby, Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai, Logan Cunningham as Hades, Naji Jeter as Miles Morales. All right, so wow, I really don't know. Everybody here deserves this nomination. I think I can't speak for Logan Cunningham, but obviously he's here for a reason. I do know obviously these other people, but I don't know. I don't think Jin Sakai is a particularly, I don't want to, this isn't meant to be like a slight against Jin as a character or the voice actor, but it's not, he doesn't have like a ton of range emotionally and as a character, so I don't think I can choose him, although his performance as Jin is really good. Naji, I haven't played enough of Miles Morales to know. So far what I've played, it just seems like a typical, I say typical, but I just mean it's just like it's a good performance. It's just more of the Miles Morales performance that we got in Marvel Spider-Man 20 whatever. So I think it's between these two, but I'm going to vote Laura Bailey because I feel like Abby is a strong character. So let's continue on. Best audio design. Wow. Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know. Oh man, this is a tough one. I think for me, it's a toss-up between Ghost and Last of Us. I don't play games with headphones enough, and I feel like that can give a game an advantage. But from what I did hear from both of these, they're both really good though. I think I'm just gonna go with Last of Us. This game is gonna clean up and it's gonna suck, but I gotta go with that one. Otherwise, it's Ghost for me, but it's between those two for sure. Partially because those are the only games I played on this list. Best score and music. Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Last of Us Part 2. Well, these games all definitely had good music. I don't know if I would say The Last of Us Part 2 has the best score. It's good music. It's very fitting for the game. Ori is really good as well. I think it's a similar thing. It's more of like the ambient sounds. It's really mood setting. I haven't played Hades again, and Doom Eternal I know is like that rock metal kind of sound. I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy because that is obviously the classic Nobu Uematsu. Best art direction. Oh man, this one is tough because I'm not somebody who really prefers the realistic art direction in video games. I like that the graphics are really good as far as representing reality, the real world in a video game format. So The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima look really nice from that perspective, but I don't prefer that as the visual aesthetic in a game. So my vote leans more toward Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Final Fantasy VII Remake, though. And now, because of this, I have to decide which one to choose between the game that had some texture problems and the game that, when I played it on a base Xbox One, also had texture problems. So I don't know. I think Ori looks really good, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to Final Fantasy because the character designs are the main draw, I think, for where the art budget went, and they're fantastic. Okay, so we're getting close to the end now. Best narrative. Ooh, I've heard a lot of good things about 13 Sentinels. I have not played it yet. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Last of Us Part 2. None of these had particularly strong narrative in my mind. Maybe 13 Sentinels did. Maybe Hades did. I don't know if the narrative is like the prominent feature of that. Last of Us Part 2 had a good narrative. It is convoluted and it takes a long time to get to where it's trying to go. So I don't know about that. Ghost of Tsushima, like I said in my last video, it's got a good narrative in the sense that the characters are really good, but the story itself isn't great. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, the side character stories I feel like are the shining point in this game, and those all really do tie into a narrative. So I think I'm going to actually go with Ghost here. Final Fantasy VII Remake was good. It had a good narrative, but some of the changes didn't quite land for me. They didn't quite make sense, and I'm still wondering where the game is, or the next game is going to go after that. So I'm going to have to go with Ghost for this one. That's surprising to even me. Best game direction. It's between Final Fantasy VII, Ghost, Hades, Half-Life, and The Last of Us Part 2. Game direction. Wow, this is different, obviously. A lot of these are the same across each category. Man, this mouse is weird. Oh, look at this. This webpage is using significant memory. Closing it may improve the responsiveness of my Mac. Yeah, this website sucks. It's got too much going on, you know what I mean? Some websites, I guess they try to be too flashy. This is the Game Awards, so maybe they feel like they need to be really, I don't know, process intensive and trying to do too much. This browser probably also has hardware graphics acceleration on, so that's probably another thing. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII, Ghost, Hades, Half-Life, and Last of Us Part 2. Best game direction. I think I'm going to go actually with The Last of Us Part 2. Just because I think it had good direction. Despite any narrative hiccups, it had really good direction. Game of the year. We're here. We're at the final one. Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, The Last of Us Part 2. What is my game of the year? So it's going to be between the ones that I actually have played, between The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't know which of these I would choose, to be honest. Now that I'm here, I'm not sure. So at this point, I'm trying to just reevaluate how I felt about each of these games and what they mean to me personally. I think The Last of Us Part 2, I mentioned this in my last video, it put me in a really weird headspace after I beat the game, and I think that was, I don't know if that was the intent of the game designers, but that was sort of the intent of the story, I feel like, to make you really think and to make you sort of feel something, at least. And this game really made me feel a lot of things. For that, I think some people would put it in the game of the year because of the feelings that it evokes. But for me, I don't know if it's enough to be game of the year. It's something I did think about a lot, but I don't know if it's something I would want to go back to. But I don't necessarily think you need to want to go back and play a game for it to be game of the year, but I don't think this is my game of the year, even though I enjoyed the game a lot. So then it's between Ghost and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh man, just based on the gameplay experience is probably what it's going to come down to. Final Fantasy VII has a lot going for it because it is sort of a turn-based RPG. It's an action RPG. I guess in a way these are both action RPGs. I don't know if Ghost is really an RPG. I don't know if I would call it that, but it's definitely got similar mechanics. Oh man, I'm having a tough time. I think even though I really loved Ghost, I'm gonna give it to Final Fantasy VII because the RPG mechanics of it I feel like were stronger to me than Ghost of Tsushima. It was fun finding the shrines and getting all the different like talismans and things like that, but at the end of the day, if I'm given an option between the skill trees in an RPG like Final Fantasy versus the skill trees in a game like Ghost of Tsushima, I think I would lean more towards Final Fantasy VII, especially since every weapon had its own skill tree that you could respec at any time. I love that in Final Fantasy, obviously, but in just RPGs in general. So, yes. So I'm going to go with that one. That is that's that. So real quick to recap, my votes for Content Creator of the Year is Alana Pierce. Best Multiplayer, Animal Crossing New Horizons. The Best Family, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Best Role-Playing Game, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Best Action Adventure, Ghost of Tsushima. Best Action, probably Hades. I don't know, I haven't played it, but a lot of people like it, so I'm going with a lot of people. Innovation in Accessibility, The Last of Us Part 2. Best AR/VR, I misread that, best VR/AR. I'm going with the one that I want to play the most out of all of these that I have not played, and that is Marvel's Iron Man VR. Best mobile game, the only one of these that I've played, Genshin Impact. Although I did not play it on mobile, that is getting my vote. Best indie game, Spiritfarer, because I want to play it, and it looks really good. Games for Impact, again, Spiritfarer, because it looks like it will be impactful. And from what I've heard, it is. Again, though, I need to play it. Best Performance, Laura Bailey as Abby in The Last of Us Part 2. Best Audio Design, The Last of Us Part 2. Best Score and Music is Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously. Best Art Direction, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Best Narrative, Ghost of Tsushima. Best Game Direction, The Last of Us Part 2. And finally, Game of the Year, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I voted a lot more for Final Fantasy VII than I expected that I would, but I like that game a lot. And I am very excited for the sequel. It's weird to think that this game came out this year, but it was only, I don't know, 7 months ago. It's weird that it came out this year. It feels like forever ago. Very excited for where this goes. Again, though, I don't put a lot of stock in the Game Awards, so this is just for fun. It doesn't really matter to me who wins or doesn't win. I don't think it really affects anything in the industry either, other than just being able to put accolades on your box or in trailers. This does not influence my decisions on whether or not I want to buy a game. In fact, if it does influence it, it's toward not wanting to play it, just because I'm one of those weird people who sometimes when things get really, really popular, I'm just like, okay, enough people like it, I don't need to play it, or it's not going to live up to the hype, or maybe I think it's overhyped or something, or I just feel like it is because so many people talk about it, even if it isn't actually. Yeah, so anyway, those are my decisions for Game of the Year and other award nominees. What do you guys think? Do you think my choices were ridiculous? Would you have picked something different? I obviously left out sports and fighting and esports things because I have no stake. I have no idea whatsoever about those things. I don't even know any of the esports teams or people or games, really. This was kind of fun. So let me know what you guys think. If you liked the video, please like it, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll be back at some point with some more stuff. Looking forward to this show on December 10th. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Good night.